Hello. Alright. I'm like more subdued tonight. I'm gonna try to be more relaxed than yesterday where I was like so ghetto and like excited. Okay. So the topic for tonight is just pronunciation. I'll try not to be so um like explaining everything, but just like I think most people in the US is just like a bunch of old people and they're like a couple in bed and they're just like watching TV. And like I guess like not everything is that complicated and like people just like listening to the TV talk to them because like they can hear and like hearing like hot words is like cool and like fun, so like I guess if like older people is not watching me, they're just like um I want John to like light me up and like hit like me 7 times. Like, is he gonna say all the AOL keywords like that I love to like hear in my ear? So like one thing, well, I'll just start the night off or this video off with like an anecdote. Like when I was younger and I was trying to like learn English, the hardest word for me to pronounce was South Carolina. Just for some reason. And then, like, I never really thought about it, but, like, we Americans, like, we just don't know why stuff is like that, like, we don't know why there's a lot of, like, Spanish names and stuff. We just don't know. Like, you could look it up and, like, know why, the reason, but, like why for real or just like why just like no one really knows, it just is. And like one word I guess that's like subtly low-key hard to pronounce is like Las Vegas. I don't know, I think that's like hard to pronounce, Las Vegas and like Nevada, or Las Vegas, Nevada. It's like hard, I guess. And it's like cool because like I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm saying it, so it's like authentic, you know. Um, yeah, that's all for the video. No, I'm just kidding. I just remember in high school I was explaining to like my one white best friend. We were just talking, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm from Ohio or Ohio," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, not everyone from San Francisco is a native. Everyone always comes through here," and then we're just like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Where are you from?" And then I'm like, "I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada." And then I felt like he looked at me like side eyed. He was like, "That sounds so robotic the way you said that." And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm just Asian. We all sound like a computer." And then he was like, "Isn't it Nevada?" And then I was like, "No, it's not like Novato, like Novato, California. It's Nevada." And then we just stopped talking. But yeah, I remember like stuff from high school. And then, yeah. I was gonna say something so dumb. I was just like, the Midwest or something. I don't know. Um, it's just like strange when like you see people on Facebook and they're like I'm traveling to all 50 states, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? You know? But I guess they have money and they can, so who's stopping them? God. So yeah, low key subtle video on pronunciation. And then I keep on seeing Lingua Marina, and she's like giving like tips, because like people, like one person has said, "Oh, you're not even born a native speaker," and I was like, "Okay, thanks." And then I was just like, "Yeah, I suck at English," and I'm like ghetto-fied freak. But yeah, she's like serious about it, and then she was like giving tips on like learning and like speaking English like a native tongue speaker, and like obviously I'll that's like a game out of reach. Like I'll never be a native U.S. but or and like yeah, it just makes me realize that I just don't care about the U.S. Um, yeah. Um, haha. And then I was watching like YouTube videos, and there's this like theme or like tone or like vibe, and um, I just feel like everyone's serious about like their videos, and um, I also noticed that people are like really like troubled, or they have problems and they like can't function and stuff. I don't know, maybe it was just one video I watched, but I don't know, it just seemed like they were all like, life is so hard, and like, why did God put me through this and stuff. um I don't know, I've never felt that way. I've never questioned like the galaxy, you know. Like you just kind of like live through life, and like that's it, you know. Like I don't really care too much, but I don't know, that was just like the tone of like the internet. It was just like, you know, I'm looking for not like children's TV show type of like happy content, but like no one's genuinely happy and like positive anymore or ever. Like I don't know. And there was serious, and with serious is like always some about negative topic. You know, there's all this. I keep on seeing the word narcissist everywhere, and toxic. So it's those two things on YouTube feeding me. They're just like narcissist and toxic, and I keep on seeing those two things, and then it's always about mental illness. And I saw one thing today that resonated with me. It was just something true. It was just like oversharing parents who post pics of their kids. It's like, you know, like people are stupid. And there's just this like negative tone on the internet, and it's like serious. And I guess everyone forgot about COVID, you know. It's like 9/11 thing. It's like, oh, it happened, and then people forget about it. It's not a big deal anymore. Um, so yeah, that happened, and then COVID, and then yeah, no one makes like happy, fun, positive content, and like I'm not that serious with this yet, but like I'm thinking I'll start to make like index cards of like possible topics or subjects to like for me to like speak on my truth as like a brownie melanin. You know, I can say that. Oh my god, so cool. um I don't know, as minorities, I just think it's cool we have like words that are like, like fist that we can say on the regular that, other people can't. But I don't know. I don't overdo it, but that's a plus to being a minority, I guess. I can say melanin. And it just makes me think of the name Melanie. I don't know why. Um, and like the name Rhea or like Rhea always makes me think of diarrhea. I don't know why. And it makes me think of the Greek goddess Hera. I keep on calling Hera Rhea in my head. I don't know why. Um, yeah, I used to like Xena, Warrior Princess, a lot. I like that kind of stuff. Whatever that is. Like, I think it's like Valkyrie stuff. Whatever that is, Norse mythology. But to me, it's like Greek mythology. I don't know why. Because they have like Ares, the god who died and stuff. Timmy the doll, and then yeah, that went nowhere. The whole pronunciation thing. I almost said it. Las Vegas, Nevada, and then like maybe San Francisco is like hard for people to say. Yeah, and then sometimes like I don't know. I don't get into that whole. Well, sometimes I do about video games and like Survivor, but like some other things, like I'm not really like that into. Like, just for example, like oh, being from America is so cool. I don't really think that. If I'm being honest, it's just like another country I lived in, and I know people is thinking it's like the country. It's like, okay, I don't really care. Probably never gonna change, and I'm not just like putting on like not being cool about it. Just is what it is. I don't know. And then like the whole oh my god, I almost said something so rude. Um yeah, I wasn't thinking about Survivor today or video games. I was kinda like I'm just gonna do other. And then I guess this is like a video diary or like confessional, so I guess going on with me right now is just like I don't know, just like vibing or like chillaxing. And last night, right when I was going to bed, I was thinking about the whole thing about like looking down in society. Like, I guess Japanese and US agree that looking down means like you're sad or like you're depressed. Because they do it on Survivor, like when Colleen looked down at the ground when they lost immunity challenge, and like just the Final Fantasy characters like looking down or something, and it means like you're sad or like depressed or something. Trying to like convey that to like kids, the target audience, like this is what this means. Hee hee hee. We're teaching you. That was so creepy. I just want to act weird and wild. Remember when Tyra told Gina, just like, can you just like make a freaked out face or something? And she like couldn't do it. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I was watching this one video by Cut, and then they were like asking 100 women like, is you cool or whatever. I don't want to say the video, And then like the bees were like, oh my god, like thanks for asking, or like, oh my god, no one's ever asked me that before in my life. And then like I was just like, what the hell? This is so stupid. I can't believe like I don't know, this one bee was like, oh, this is such a loaded question. And I was like it has so much meaning, like the actual sentence and how the dude producer said it to you in that moment in time, anals. And then I was just like, this is so stupid. People are so stupid. Americans are so dumb. And then I guess I'm not laughing at like sad people, but I don't know. It's just so weird to me the way people act like. Yeah. I almost said something so bad. Like, well, I'll try to make it work. Okay, so pronunciation. I guess I'll just add lingua marina. She was like, "Oh, speaking in native." I'm not even gonna use that word because we don't use that word. It's just in America. Like, if you manage to get in, like, congrats, you're American. You know, you're one of us. But we don't use the phrase native speaker. We just don't say that. We're just like, is he cool? You know? I guess it's different because, like, I went there when I was 30 and I actually grew up in the US versus I always say it's easier to just wait until you're like 30 and to just move there and like work. You know, you don't have to go through the traumatizing experience of going to school, other kids. You know, it's just a whole different experience when you grow up there as a kid, you know, versus just like, I'm gonna work in the US when I'm 30. Woo! Make money, you know. Yeah. And then, this says something so mean. Um, well, I guess I'll talk about stuff. Okay, like, I don't know, Survivor intro shots, like, why do they show people looking pensive? Or it's kind of like when you take, like, a picture of yourself, like, usually your face for, like, live journal or something, and you want to make it look artsy, like you're like an artist and you're a lot dark, like, because it's a live journal. So like I don't do the like hair like emo thing, but you know, you just try to get a good angle. It's usually like 3/4 and you try to make it look like artsy and stuff or whatever. But usually, I don't know. I don't really think too much because I don't know. Like I didn't study it in school, so I just think of something and I try to just do that, you know, and I think it looks good. So I don't know. And then I come to find out, like, if you think it looks good, other people think it looks good too. Usually, for the most part. And then, you always get that one stickler who's just like, I hate your lice. And then it's like, ma'am, the restaurant is closing. You need to leave. And she like stamps her foot. I'm just joking. Um, I don't know. There's some jokes that we have that's like hard to explain explain. Okay, wait. Let me. Okay. I'm like on something, but let me go back to the Survivor intro shots. It's just like, why do they show certain people like doing certain things or like making a weird face? Like, my first initial reaction when they show like Jonathan or something, and it's like a picture. It's like, why did they show him looking pensive? Like, pensive to me is just like, oh, he's thinking about strategy, you know? So, which is like kind of awkward to us kids, people, is like thinking about strategy. Like, why? Because people think, oh, we're civilians. We have nothing to do with that war. But it's about the game, you know? So that's all I'm going to say. Like, think about strategy of the game. And then, yeah, so they show him looking pensive because he's thinking about strategy of the game. And then, like, but one intershot in particular really sticks out to me, and that's Natalie White. Because they show her doing something very American, and there's no other way to explain it besides that's just an expression that we make when we see something like weird or like awkward or something. We just go like, what? You know, or whatever, because we're very expressive like people. And I think people make a big deal out of it, but they're like, what does this mean when Colleen's doing that? They're like, is she sucking a boo boo or is she thinking about strategy? And they're like, why is she in the bushes? And to me, I think she's just trying to look cute, like, for the camera. Because, like, it's the very first season, you're a cute young girl, there's a camera in front of you. Of course, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is so much fun, or, like, whatever, you know. And then, no one really talks about it, but I like Greg's intro shot. Because he looks very, like, American. And, like, I have no other way of explaining it, but, like, it's odd if I were to say he looks very Caucasian male. But, like, typically he looks like a typical American Caucasian male, I guess. I don't know. There's no other way to explain it. Like, he's blonde, he has like green eyes, and then he's wearing like a cap, like from Old Navy. And then I forgot what face he makes, but yeah, I like Greg. I don't know why. I just like his look. You know, it's very me as a kid, a minority. Like seeing someone like that is very comforting. Just because that's typically what I think of when I think of like college, America. Is like that type of like look. And then, yeah. What else is there? Oh, and then I was gonna say something else about something else. It was just like, oh, we have jokes in America that are like hard to explain without like oh, you had to be there type of thing. And I got a comment one time. They were like, "What does that mean?" And I was just like, "Oh, you had to have like grown up in the U.S. You know, to really understand what that feeling conveys when you see something like that or whatever." I think Survivor is so cool. I don't know why. Cause like I always joke around. I'm like, oh my god, dude, I hope no one feels like embarrassed about the competition. Cause like kids love it when we see like an older person, adult, like really getting into the game and like lying and like, hiding the food and stuff. We love that shit. Because as kids, we're thinking about all that stuff too. We're like, oh my god, I'm gonna sabotage everything if they're gonna vote me off. I'm gonna burn the house down. Um, but yeah, we love that. And then usually it's like a subpar competition. Like no one really, they just, I think it's just the fatigue. That's why they shortened it to 26 days. They're just like so low energy and they just don't do anything. And it's like hard to watch sometimes because, they're so shitty and like pissy and like, you know, you can't love that aspect unless you're a freak. Um, like after one day of being in the house, I feel so dirty. Um, why am I talking about this? Oh, because I love survivors. Yeah, and then like I guess it's just like artsy and like, but I want to know what the editors or the camera people or whatever are actually like complicatedly thinking when they like show this shot. Because I know every frame means something. I just feel that way about everything. Like, everything means something. And it's like, why are they showing this? you know? I think they show spoilers, like, in the intro. Like, besides the first season, because that was, like, just full of spoilers and, like, everything. But, I just think if someone's really confident, like, you just know they're gonna win. Like, you can just tell who's happy, positive. They're like, I'm gonna win this thing, and like, this is so much fun. Like, what I'm doing right now in my life, like, you can just tell they're gonna win, or at least make it far, you know? Even on like the first day, you can just tell. If they're like, oh my god, this is so much fun, da la 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 la, coconuts. Oh my god, I hate it when they're all like, I'm never gonna eat coconut again. I'm never gonna eat rice again. I'm never gonna eat fish again. I'm never gonna eat corn ever again. And it's like, bitch, please. You's gonna eat Doritos and like all that stuff. Don't even. Um, yeah, I hate that. Um, And you can always usually tell who's gonna get voted off, like not because they tell you, but it's because like they're so down, and people don't um like sour pussy. Like it's even worse when it totally affects you, like, and you're like, oh my god, like I'm gonna commit suicide or whatever over this, and it's like, it's just a TV show. Yeah, thank God that's never happened yet. Um, why am I laughing? Erase. Um, yeah, and then like with video games, I love working designs because like I love Chad Letts and I love Ashley because like whenever they were doing like voice acting, they were always like, "Oh my god, that was so good! That was such a good take. That was a bad toss." I love saying that for some reason. And then what Ashley said, his line was like, "That was really good." You know, me, I'm just like, "Oh my word," or whatever. Okay, bye.